Ah, so you are the one who rescued Bastila. It is appropriate you are here. We have been discussing your rather special case. I am Jar, a member of the Jedi Council. With me are Master Vrook, Master Vandar, and of course the chronicler of our academy, Master Dorak. Padawan Bastila, I am sure you are already familiar with. Bastila tells us you are strong in the Force. We are considering you for Jedi training. Do not worry. I am confident in your ability to learn.
Master Jar speaks out of turn, perhaps. We need indisputable proof of your strong affinity to the Force before we would even consider accepting you for training.
Proof? Surely the entire council can feel the strength of the Force within this man, and I've already related to you the events that took place on Terrace.
Perhaps it was simple luck.
We both know there is no luck. There is only the Force. We all feel the power in Bastila's companion, though it is wild and untamed. Now that this power has begun to manifest itself, can we safely ignore it?
The Jedi training is long and difficult, even when working with a young and open mind. Teaching a child is hard. How much harder will it be for an adult to learn the ways of the Jedi? Such pride, such arrogance. This one is already on the path to the dark side.
As are many who are not given proper training, Master Vrook. Only through our guidance can we hope to lead those who have strayed back to the path of the light.
Traditionally, the Jedi do not accept adults for training, though there are rare exceptions in the history of our order. But you are a special case.
I agree with Master Dorak. Many of our own pupils are leaving the Jedi Order to follow the Sith teachings. We need recruits to stand against Malak. With Revan dead...
Are you certain Revan is truly dead? What if we undertake to train this one and the Dark Lord should return?
We should discuss this matter more fully in private. Bastila, you and your companion must go. This is a matter for the Council alone.
As you wish, Master Vandar. We shall return to the Ebon Hawk and leave you to your deliberations.
Traditionally, the Jedi do not accept adults for training, though there are rare exceptions in the history of our order. But you are a special case.
Yes, the High Council of the Jedi Order is on Coruscant, but we are the council in charge of the training facility here on Dantooine. Indeed, I am sure that you do. I assure you that we will have answers for you.
Darth Malak seeks to destroy the Jedi Order. Our most effective weapon, perhaps our only hope, is Bastila's skill with battle meditation. With this power, she can swing the tide of nearly any battle in our favor. Which is why Malak was seeking her so fervently.
And if he could not have her, he would see her destroyed. Terrace was just in the way.
We need Bastila in our fight against the Sith. Indeed, we need every Jedi we can muster, since the Sith have been hunting us down at every opportunity, which brings us to you.
Bastila has told us of a most unusual development. She claims you and she have shared a dream. A vision of Malak and Revan in the ancient ruins here on Dantooine.
These ruins have long been known to us, but we believe them to be merely burial mounds. Perhaps they're more than we first suspected, if Revan and Malak found something there.
Bastila has described this shared dream to the Council in great detail. We feel it is more than a dream. It is a vision. The Force is acting through you, as it acts through Bastila.
You and Bastila share a powerful connection to the Force, and each other. This is not unheard of. Connections often form between master and student, but rarely does a bond develop so quickly.
Whatever dangers may lie ahead, we cannot ignore the destiny that has brought you and Bastila here to us. Together, you and she are linked, as is your fate to hers. Together, you two may be able to stop Darth Malak and the Sith.
But do not let your head be filled with visions of glory and power. Such thoughts are the path to the dark side. The way of the light is long and difficult, as you must learn. Are you ready for such hardship?
Understand that there is little choice in this matter, for you or us. Across the galaxy, the numbers of our order dwindle. We have sent many Jedi in quest of a way to thwart Malak's advance. Many have not returned. The Sith hunt the Jedi down like animals, ambushing and assassinating our brothers wherever they are found. We fear it is only a matter of time until they discover even this hidden refuge.
Other Jedi have fallen from the light and embraced the dark side, giving their allegiance to the Sith and Malak, their Dark Lord. The lure of the dark side is not easy to resist. Malak's power grows as more and more planets fall to his conquering armies.
If Malak is not stopped, the Republic will fall, and the Jedi will be hunted to extinction. The galaxy will enter a time of darkness and tyranny, not seen for 1,000 generations.
The Council has decreed that you and Bastila must investigate the ancient ruins you dreamed of, once the Council deems you ready.
Perhaps there you will find some clue, some explanation of how Revan and Malak were corrupted, and perhaps there you shall find a way to stop them.
The Force flows through you like no student we have ever seen. But you're willful and headstrong, a dangerous combination.
Before we send you to investigate the ruins, you must be trained in the ways of the Jedi, so that you can resist the darkness within yourself, within all of us. Otherwise you are doomed to fail. You must learn patience and discipline. The ruins are a place of corruption. The dark side is strong there. We cannot risk sending you there unprepared. We must begin your training at once. You have a destiny upon you that you must be prepared to face. The entire fate of the galaxy is upon you. You have a strong affinity with the Force. With such power comes great responsibility and danger. You may wish to deny what you are, but the Council cannot turn a blind eye.
Neither will Darth Malak. Your strength is a threat to him. In time he will learn of you, and the Sith will hunt you down. It is inevitable. Defeating the Sith is the only way to save yourself.
Yes. Your devotion is most commendable.
If Malak is not stopped, the Republic will fall, and the Jedi will be hunted to extinction. The galaxy will enter a time of darkness and tyranny, not seen for 1,000 generations.
Perhaps our hope lies in the dream you and Bastila shared. The Council has come to the conclusion that you and Bastila must investigate the ancient ruins you dreamed of.
Good. It is well that you see how important this is, and have the devotion to follow it. She says she has felt your presence within the dream. The presence she has felt within you ever since...
Master Vandar.
Ever since Taurus. It is not unknown for this to happen between two people strong in the Force.
See, dishonesty. We are taking an incalculable risk at even considering training this one.
You cannot deny what you are. These dreams are part of you. The Force is part of you, though a part you cannot yet control. But through training and discipline, we can teach you to live as one with the Force. We must begin your training at once. You have a destiny upon you that you must be prepared to face. The entire fate of the galaxy is upon you.
I can only hope you will prove up to the task.
The path you have chosen to walk is difficult. Intensive training will prepare you physically for the demands of the Order. Meditation will teach you to channel the power of the Force. To truly understand the way of the Jedi, you must open your mind to knowledge. Seek wisdom in the teachings of the great masters of our Order. A Jedi is never alone. Others in the Order will always stand by you. You and Bastila share a special bond. Do not be afraid to turn to her when you need help in your training. The way of the Jedi is difficult. It requires great discipline. Yet even though you are a mere apprentice, your potential is unlimited, and your progress amazing. In all my years, I have never seen one who has mastered the initial training so quickly. You have done in weeks what many cannot do in years. I am honored to welcome you fully into the Jedi Order. Greetings, my young pupil. Your progress has been most remarkable so far. Are you here to continue your training in the ways of the Jedi? Soon your apprenticeship will end, and you will be granted the title of Padawan, the lowest rank of those within the Jedi Order. Yet first you must prove yourself worthy. In the traditions and customs of our order, as handed down from master to pupil for 1,000 generations, you must successfully complete 3 tests before you earn your place among the Jedi. These tests will see if you have truly mastered the training you have been given, both mental and physical. Upon completing these tests, you will pass from apprentice to Padawan and join in the ranks of the Jedi. First, I will test your knowledge of the Jedi Code. These tenets must always guide your actions. In everything you do, you must always be conscious of their wisdom.
Bastila has told us of your discovery in the ancient ruins. The Council has decided it would be best if you complete your apprenticeship before you embark on any further investigations in this matter.
As grave as the Sith threat may be, we cannot allow you to leave here until your apprenticeship is over. The danger of the dark side is too great to send you out unprepared.
Master Jar feels you are ready to begin the final tests of your apprenticeship. Return to us when you have completed your training. Good evening, apprentice. I trust your training goes well. I have faith that you will achieve the rank of Padawan soon. Master Jar is most impressed with your progress. May the Force be with you, apprentice. All Jedi must know the Code. Its tenets are the fundamental teachings of our order. Think and meditate on these truths, apprentice. There is no emotion. There is peace. There is no ignorance. There is knowledge. There is no passion. There is serenity. There is no chaos. There is harmony. There is no death. There is the Force.
You must now prove you have a Jedi's understanding of the Code by completing these fundamental precepts of our order. There is no emotion. There is no ignorance. There is no passion. There is no chaos. There is no death. You have learned your studies well, apprentice. It will not be long before you are a full member of our order. But first, you must pass the second test and learn about the most prized possession of a Jedi. The very symbol of our order, the lightsaber. The lightsaber is the traditional weapon of our order. It is a symbol of a Jedi's skill, dedication, and authority. And each lightsaber is as individual as the Jedi who wields it. The blade is made of pure energy, focused by polished crystals in the hilt. As the second test, each Jedi must construct her lightsaber with her own hands. And now it is your time. Speak with Master Dorak, and he will guide you through the choosing of a crystal. That is not correct, apprentice. Perhaps you are not yet ready for this challenge. There is no shame in admitting weakness. Feel free to speak to the other Jedi in the Academy if you require assistance. They will gladly share their knowledge with you.
Yellow is the color of the Jedi Sentinel. This Jedi ferrets out deceit and injustice, bringing it to light. They focus less on combat and more on other skills and abilities. Which color and path do you believe yourself most suited to, apprentice? Green is the color of the Jedi Counselor. This Jedi seeks to bring balance to the universe. They mediate between other groups, using their powers to end conflict and preserve peace. Indeed, we shall see. I will now ask you questions, and your responses will indicate which class you lean most towards. A woman and her small child are beset by a desperate-looking group of thugs. They're menacing her with weapons, and she screams to you for help. What do you do? Indeed. Very well. On to the next question. You are in combat with a dark Jedi allied with the Sith. There is a pause in the combat. What do you do? Yes, I suspected as much. Now for the next question. There is a locked door, and your goal lies on the other side. What do you do? I am beginning to see a pattern here, apprentice. I have a feeling about what you would be best at. But first, the final question. You are the head of an enclave on a contested world. The Dark Jedi have infiltrated and are causing unrest across the planet. What do you do? Yes, I thought as much. As I suspected, you would be most suitable as a Jedi Guardian. Here is a blue crystal for your lightsaber. Go speak to Master Jar again, and he will instruct you in how to construct it. As I suspected, you would be most suitable as a Jedi Sentinel. Here is a yellow crystal for your lightsaber. Go speak to Master Jar again, and he will instruct you in how to construct it. As I suspected, you would be most suitable as a Jedi Consular. Here is a green crystal for your lightsaber. Go speak to Master Jar again, and he will instruct you on how to construct it. A Jedi is not restricted to a single color. Rather, that color is a badge of pride for the Jedi path it signifies. Should you have an appropriate crystal, you may change your blade to anything you desire. The time has come for you to choose the color of your lightsaber. This color also reflects your demeanor and position within the Order. Blue is the color of the Jedi Guardian. This Jedi battles against the forces of evil and the dark side. They focus more on combat training and use of the lightsaber. Ah, you have come, young apprentice, at Master Zar's bidding. He sees great promise in you, as do I.
You have done extremely well in constructing your lightsaber, apprentice. Your crystal seems to have been set perfectly. It is rare indeed for that to happen the first time one constructs their lightsaber. These crystals are very rare, found only in certain caves strong in the Force. By adding crystals to your lightsaber, you can alter or enhance its properties. There have even been unconfirmed rumors of certain Force-sensitive caves here on Dantooine that may hold these crystals. It is a rumor only. I do not know if there's any truth in it. They can modify simple things such as the color of your blade, or complex ones, such as crystals that reputedly increase the strength of the beam. But you must learn first to use your lightsaber and take care when drawing it. Your lightsaber identifies you as a member of the Jedi Order. With such recognition comes honor and respect, and the attentions of dangerous enemies. The Sith and Dark Jedi will seek to destroy you, apprentice. And you must prove yourself worthy in battle against a foe who also wields a lightsaber. Are you ready to face the final challenge, apprentice? Return when you feel you are ready for this challenge. May the Force be with you. For every Jedi, the threat of the dark side is always present. You must truly understand this before you are accepted into the Order. You must see the corruption of the dark side for yourself. Even here on Dantooine, there are places where the dark side holds sway, twisting and tainting nature itself. The ancient grove once used for deep meditation by the Jedi is now tainted. A wave of darkness perverts the region around it. The Kathhounds in the area have become savage and ruthless. They have become a threat to the settlers, a threat the Jedi have promised to stop. The Kathhounds are but a symptom of the true problem. You must journey into the grove and confront the true source of the darkness. That is your task. I can say no more. Some things you must see for yourself. None of the other Jedi at the Academy are permitted to help you in this task. But remember this, my young apprentice. A Jedi acts with patience and care, and those on the dark path are not always lost forever. You have learned much, yet there is much more for you to still understand. The way of the Jedi must be entered into with a clear and focused mind. When you feel that you are ready to continue your training, know that you can find me here.
It is good to see Juhani has returned to the way of the light. You are to be commended for your role in this. Your actions give us great hope for the future. Go to Master Jar and inform him that Juhani has returned to us. I think you may be nearing the end of your apprenticeship. It is most regrettable that Juhani could not be saved. We in the Council had high hopes for her in the future. In every heart, there is some means of redemption. Could you find none in Juhani? Perhaps that was the case. It is most regrettable indeed. Heed her example. All are susceptible to the lure of the dark side. We must always remain vigilant against it. Go to Master Jar and inform him that the grove has been cleansed. I think you may be nearing the end of your apprenticeship. Perhaps that was the case. It is most regrettable indeed.
The dark side still taints the ancient grove. Your lessons cannot continue until the spreading corruption of the dark side has been stopped. This is your task, apprentice. May the Force be with you. You have done well, my pupil. The ancient grove has been purified, and Juhani's journey down the dark path has been halted. Because of you, she walks once more in the light. But though she was saved, do not dismiss what happened to her. Juhani is both dedicated and true to the ideals of the Order, yet she was still vulnerable to the dark side, as are we all. She struck her master in anger during her training, and injured her greatly. But it was Quatra's choice to test Juhani this way, and it seems to have made its point. Juhani has been redeemed, and you have passed your final test. Congratulations, apprentice. Or should I say, congratulations, Padawan. You have proven yourself worthy of joining the Jedi. Let me be the first to welcome you as a full-fledged member of our order. You have cleansed the grove of its dark taint, but at great cost. Juhani was a most promising student, and could one day have been strong in the Force. Do not dismiss what happened to her, however. Juhani was both dedicated and true to the ideals of the Order, yet she was still vulnerable to the lure of the dark side. Keep this in mind always in the future, and do not forsake the path of the light.
Your training is now complete, Padawan. And perhaps now it is time we dealt with the matter of the dream you and Bastila shared. When we heard of the ruins in your dreams, Master Dorak recognized it as one of a series of ancient structures here on Dantooine. This one in particular lies to the east of this enclave. We sent a Jedi to investigate, but he has not returned. Perhaps sending him in the first place was a mistake. The Force is guiding you through your visions. It may be that exploring the ruins is a task tied to your destiny. That is why the Council has now decided you should be the one to investigate this. The secrets to stopping Malak may be hidden within those ruins. You must investigate them and find what Revan and Malak were looking for. Ah, you have returned, young Padawan. Have you discovered what it was that Revan and Malak sought in those ruins? This news of a Starforge is disturbing. Action is required, but we must not do so in haste. We must discuss recent events in light of this new information.
We should consult the Jedi archives to see if there's any mention of the Starforge and what it might do. We must learn why Revan and Malak sought it out.
Return to your ship with Bastila, and we will summon you when we are done.
Lies. Bastila has already told us about this Starforge and the map you found.
Peace, Master Rook. I'm certain the Padawan only meant they had not found anything beyond what Bastila would surely have told us. Padawan, you have done well in discovering the star map hidden within the ancient ruins. But there is more you must do in the battle against Malak and the Sith. We Jedi know victory over the Sith will not come through martial might. The Council has a mission for you, Padawan.
I've consulted our vast archives in an effort to discover the nature of this Starforge, but all my efforts have been in vain.
Still, the Council are in agreement. The Starforge must be found. Revan and Malak sought it out when they began their tragic fall. The Starforge is surely a powerful tool of the dark side.
The star map in the ruins showed you 4 planets, but it was incomplete. It did not show the location of the Starforge itself. We believe there may be similar star maps on other planets. Each star map is likely a small piece of a larger puzzle. Find the star maps on Kashyyyk, Tatooine, Manan, and Korriban, and we believe they will lead you to the Starforge. The Jedi numbers have been ravaged by this war, by defections to Malak's cause, and by Sith assassins. But we realize the importance of this mission. Yet if we send a company of Jedi Knights with you, we would surely draw the full attention of Malak and the Sith, dooming your efforts to failure. Secrecy is our best defense against the Sith, but it would be foolish to send you on this quest without someone to aid you, young Padawan. Bastila will accompany you, for there is a powerful connection between you two. A connection that might be the key to unraveling the mysteries uncovered by Revan. And Juhani has also asked to accompany you. After long deliberation, we have granted her request.
Juhani nearly fell to the dark side. Perhaps her presence will serve as a reminder to you of the dangers of that path.
Of course, those who aided you on Taris will also come. They possess skills you may find useful in your quest. Remember that secrecy and discretion are paramount to your success. You will not be able to hide the fact that you are a Jedi, nor should you. But the true nature of your mission must not reach Malak's ears. You may return here at any time. Dantooine will be a sanctuary for you, a safe haven. Here you can find supplies and whatever advice or other aid we may give you.
You can leave whenever you wish. The sooner the better. The longer you wait, the stronger Malak becomes. But first, a warning, young Padawan. The lure of the dark side is difficult to resist. I fear this quest to find the Star Forge could lead you down an all too familiar path. This was already explained to you. Your command of the Force makes you a threat to Malak. Eventually he will destroy you, and all the Jedi, unless you stop him first.
Keep the example of Juhani fresh in your mind. You may need a reminder of the dangers of the path that leads to the dark side.
Ever brash, ever disrespectful, this is what we have pinned our hopes on?
Peace, Rook. We have discussed this. There is no other choice. You must not fail in your mission. Find the star maps that lead to the Star Forge. This is the only way to stop Malak and his Sith followers. You and Bastila are the galaxy's last desperate hope.
But beware that dark side. Bastila will guide you, but she herself is young and new to the ways of the Jedi. You must help her as much as she helps you.
The fate of the galaxy is in your hands, young Padawan. We pray you are up to the challenge. May the Force be with you. You must not fail in your mission, young Padawan. Find the star maps that lead to the Star Forge. This is the only way to stop Malak and his Sith followers. You and Bastila are the galaxy's last desperate hope. May the Force be with you in this quest.
I demand justice! The Central family is a blight upon Dantooine. They must be punished.
The Council will look into this matter, Mr. Matale. You must be patient. Your accusations have no proof, and we do not want you stirring up trouble with the Sandrals if there is some mistake.
Mistake? My son Shen is missing. How can there be any doubt the Sandrals are to blame?
There are other possible explanations for your son's disappearance.
Ah, you Jedi are good for nothing but talk. I shall only wait so long before I take action on my own.
As dangerous as the threat from Darth Malak and the Sith may be, we Jedi cannot simply abandon our other responsibilities. The Council has promised Alan Matale we will look into his son's disappearance. Should you have time, Padawan, you may want to investigate this matter.
If Shen Matale is not returned to his father, it may ignite a savage and bloody feud between the Matale and Sandral estates. We must not allow that to happen.
Your study and training are important, of course, but the Jedi are not a cloistered order. Our influence and teachings must spread beyond the walls of our academies.
It is in the real world that we truly prove ourselves worthy of the title Jedi. You would do well to remember this, young Padawan.
These two families have been settled here for some years now.
And causing me no end of trouble.
Indeed. They have been settled here for some time, and feuding ever since. I do not know how the original feud started, but they want nothing to do with each other. As you may have heard, Alan Matale believes that his son, Shen, has been kidnapped by Nurik Sandral.
Curiously, Nurik's son Cassius has been missing for some time as well. I fear Nurik may suspect Alan in this.
Is there anything else you wish to know? The Sandral and Matale families are involved. The Sandrals live far to the south. The head of that family is Nurik Sandral. He is a stern man, but I believe him fair. Under the present circumstances, though, who knows? Alan Matale can be much more unstable. He is convinced of his own importance and can be a most oppressive individual at times. He lives closer to the Enclave, but still to the south. Both families have settled to the south of this Enclave. The Matales are the closer of the two. Both have similar estates, but Alan is much more paranoid about his, and guards it quite heavily. If Shen Matale is not returned to his father, it may ignite a savage and bloody feud between the Matale and Sandral estates. We must not allow that to happen. There has been a report of a terrible battle near the Sandral estate to the south of the Enclave. Apparently a large force of droids attacked the estate. The defending droids returned in kind. The attacking family was apparently the Matale family, launching an attack on the Sandral estate. Both entire families were slain, including the boy Shen, who had been reported missing. There was a mention that someone noticed one or more other persons leaving the battle area after the conflict had finished. You were in that area, were you not? Did you see something? Is that so? I cannot find fault with your statement, but something in your manner is odd. But no matter. More pressing things are at hand. You must always remember the destruction and chaos that the dark side can reap, and avoid it at all costs. We have heard that there was a close confrontation between the Sandral and the Matali families by one of the southern estates earlier. We also heard that it was by your actions that direct conflict was avoided. It is good to hear that you have learned the lessons of the Jedi Order well enough to avoid conflict when necessary. Raheja Sandral and Shen Matali have come here seeking shelter against their families. The Council has decided to give it to them. Their love for each other was being denied by overly possessive parents, and we learned that it was only by your intervention that they managed to escape here. While it is regrettable that the fences between the families were not repaired, it is good that these two young lovers can live their lives free of oppression. I have heard that the Sandrals and Matalis have agreed to cooperation in the construction of a new estate to house their children. Apparently, a son of one family and the daughter of the other are getting married. I also hear that we have you to thank for this happy occurrence. I am glad that you are using the authority our order wields to achieve some measure of good. A Jedi must ever be seeking knowledge. What is it you wish to know? Bastila will be a great Jedi someday. Even among the Masters and the Council, it is rare to find one so skilled in the art of battle meditation. Bastila was there when Revan was slain. Did you know that? Bastila herself does not like to talk about it. She was accompanying the strike team that confronted Revan when the Dark Lord was destroyed. Her role in the death of such a promising young Jedi as Revan upset her greatly. But Bastila knew she had to set her personal feelings aside for the sake of the galaxy and the Republic. The Force is strong with her now, and without her skill in battle meditation, we would have lost this war long ago. The way ahead will be difficult for young Bastila, and for you. But you must draw strength from each other. May the Force be with you. Is there anything else you would like to know? I knew Revan as a promising young pupil. Revan was strong in the Force, but also headstrong and proud. Such traits are not unusual in a Padawan. Perhaps that was why I did not see the true extent of the danger. Many of the young Jedi admired Revan, including Malak. When Revan set off to challenge the Mandalorians, Malak was the first to join the cause.
And they beat my people so easily in battle.
And when Revan fell to the dark side, it was inevitable Malak would fall as well. Revan was always the leader, the more powerful of the pair. When Revan fell, we had hoped the Sith threat was ended. But Malak quickly assumed Revan's role, and has embraced the dark side power as fully as his old master ever did. Now, Malak leads the Sith Armada against the Republic. Hate and vengeance for his master's death draw Malak ever further down the path of the dark side, fueling his powers until they surpass those of his old master. Only you and Bastila together can stop Malak now. Master Vrook may seem harsh and critical, but he understands the dangers that lie in your path. He wants you and Bastila to be fully prepared when you finally face Lord Malak. The Mandalorians have not hurt anyone before now. We thought they would keep their activities down with our presence here, but it seems we were tragically wrong. You may deal with the Mandalorian raiders should you meet them. It might be good training to test your fighting skills this way.
These raiders are a disgrace. No true Mandalorian would stoop to raiding farms when whole worlds were open to them.
There has been a report of a terrible battle near the Sandral estate to the south of the Enclave. Apparently a large force of droids attacked the estate. The defending droids returned in kind. The attacking family was apparently the Matali family, launching an attack on the Sandral estate. Both entire families were slain, including the boy Shen, who had been reported missing. There was a mention that someone noticed one or more other persons leaving the battle area after the conflict had finished. You were in that area, were you not? Did you see something? Is that so? I cannot find fault with your statement, but something in your manner is odd. But no matter. More pressing things are at hand. You must always remember the destruction and chaos that the dark side can reap, and avoid it at all costs. We have heard that there was a close confrontation between the Sandral and the Matali families by one of the southern estates earlier. We also heard that it was by your actions that direct conflict was avoided. It is good to hear that you have learned the lessons of the Jedi Order well enough to avoid conflict when necessary. Rehasia Sandral and Shen Matali have come here seeking shelter against their families. The Council has decided to give it to them. Their love for each other was being denied by overly possessive parents, and we learned that it was only by your intervention that they managed to escape here. While it is regrettable that the fences between the families were not repaired, it is good that these two young lovers can live their lives free of oppression. I have heard that the Sandrals and Matalis have agreed to cooperation in the construction of a new estate to house their children. Apparently, a son of one family and the daughter of the other are getting married. I also hear that we have you to thank for this happy occurrence. I am glad that you are using the authority our order wields to achieve some measure of good. A Jedi must ever be seeking knowledge. What is it you wish to know? You should ask Master Vuk about that, Padawan. He is in charge of our relations with the settlers. We do not know. She was training here until your unfortunate incident with Juhani. Then she simply disappeared. We would like any word of her you may bring. I do not believe she has died or fallen prey to beasts, but I worry that she may have done something rash. She had always been close to Juhani, and her death may have hit Belaya hard. Is there anything else you wish to ask? Be sure to bring Bastila with you. There is a powerful link between you, and you will need to draw strength from each other during the trials ahead. We do not know. That is one of the things you must investigate. We fear the worst. Is there anything else you want to know? That is most unfortunate. She was always a model student, and most eager to learn. I grieve that she had fallen to her passions. Remember her example, as well as that of Juhani. The dark side is not an enemy to be taken lightly. Bastila will be a great Jedi someday. Even among the Masters and the Council, it is rare to find one so skilled in the art of battle meditation. Bastila was there when Revan was slain. Did you know that? Bastila herself does not like to talk about it. She was accompanying the strike team that confronted Revan when the Dark Lord was destroyed. Her role in the death of such a promising young Jedi as Revan upset her greatly. But Bastila knew she had to set her personal feelings aside for the sake of the galaxy and the Republic. The Force is strong with her now, and without her skill in battle meditation, we would have lost this war long ago. The way ahead will be difficult for young Bastila, and for you. But you must draw strength from each other. May the Force be with you. Is there anything else you would like to know? I knew Revan as a promising young pupil. Revan was strong in the Force, but also headstrong and proud. Such traits are not unusual in a Padawan. Perhaps that was why I did not see the true extent of the danger. Many of the young Jedi admired Revan, including Malak. When Revan set off to challenge the Mandalorians, Malak was the first to join the cause.
And they beat my people so easily in battle.
And when Revan fell to the dark side, it was inevitable Malak would fall as well. Revan was always the leader, the more powerful of the pair. When Revan fell, we had hoped the Sith threat was ended. But Malak quickly assumed Revan's role, and has embraced the dark side power as fully as his old master ever did. Now, Malak leads the Sith Armada against the Republic. Hate and vengeance for his master's death draw Malak ever further down the path of the dark side, fueling his powers until they surpass those of his old master. Only you and Bastila together can stop Malak now. Master Vuk may seem harsh and critical, but he understands the dangers that lie in your path. He wants you and Bastila to be fully prepared when you finally face Lord Malak. The Mandalorians have not hurt anyone before now. We thought they would keep their activities down with our presence here, but it seems we were tragically wrong. You may deal with the Mandalorian raiders should you meet them. It might be good training to test your fighting skills this way. Very well. May the Force be with you. A Jedi must ever be seeking knowledge. What is it you wish to know?
The Mandalorian Wars, the fall of Revan and Malak, the rise of the Sith. There are important lessons to be learned from these events, if we do not wish to repeat the mistakes of our past. Of course, I could not tell you the entire history of our order. The Jedi have existed for thousands upon thousands of years. We are as old as the Republic itself. Instead, I will begin 40 years ago with the War of Exar Kun. Like Malak and Revan, Exar Kun was a Jedi who fell to the dark side and led an army against the Jedi and the Republic. Exar Kun was defeated, but the war left both the Republic and our own order severely weakened. For 20 years we struggled to rebuild, trying to erase the scars of the terrible conflict. All things in time. You shall learn that history is an intricate weaving of many events. No one thing can be understood without the proper context. 20 years ago, the Mandalorians, aware that the Republic was in a weakened state, began conquering small worlds on the Outer Rim. They were careful to choose only planets outside the Republic's jurisdiction. After much debate, the Senate chose not to intervene. As long as the Mandalorians avoided planets that were members of the Republic itself, there would be no retaliation. Well, you can hardly blame the Republic. The memory of war was fresh in everyone's mind. Nobody was eager to relive the horrors in a campaign against the Mandalorians. But in the end, it was unavoidable. The Mandalorians stockpiled resources from their conquered worlds, preparing for a massive assault. 7 years ago, they launched a simultaneous attack in 3 separate sectors of Republic space. The Senate had no choice but to retaliate with the entire Republic fleet. The Mandalorian Wars had begun. The Republic petitioned the Jedi Council for aid, but there were many factors to consider before we allowed ourselves to be drawn into another conflict, so soon after the war with Exar Kun. While the Jedi Council preached patience, there were many among our order who were eager for us to join the battle. 2 young knights in particular demanded immediate action, Revan and Malak. They rallied many of the Jedi to their cause, and against the wishes of their masters, joined the Republic fleet battling the Mandalorians. Revan was a brilliant military leader, and the Republic fleet began to win victory after victory. 4 years ago, the Mandalorians surrendered unconditionally. No one is denying that Revan was one of the keys to defeating the Mandalorians. But something happened out there on the Outer Rim. Instead of returning after the war's end, the ships under Revan's command went deep into unexplored space. They claimed to be searching for the last remnants of the Mandalorian fleet. All contact was lost. For many months it was assumed some great disaster had befallen the entire fleet. Everyone thought they were dead. There were unsubstantiated rumors of Revan and Malak being seen on a number of different planets during these months, scattered sightings that were never confirmed. Perhaps they simply went far beyond the edges of Republic space. Maybe they found previously undiscovered hyperspace routes to the ends of the galaxy. Nobody knows for certain. 3 years ago, Revan and Malak returned at the head of a massive invasion fleet. Revan had assumed the title of Sith Lord. The hero had become a conqueror. Some of the ships in the Sith fleet are those that were under Revan's command during the Mandalorian Wars, but many more are of an alien design we've never seen before. The source of this massive fleet is one of the many things about the Sith we cannot explain. It seems impossible to have created it in such a short time, yet we cannot deny its existence. The source of the Sith soldiers is unfortunately much easier to understand. Initially, the bulk of the force were former Republic soldiers who had served under Revan. With each conquest, thousands more flocked to join the invaders, swelling their numbers. Even many of our own order have betrayed us, lured by Sith promises of riches and power. For 2 years, the Sith were all but invincible. Fortunately, Bastila and her battle meditation allowed the Republic to win a few key victories and kept the Sith from total triumph. In desperation, we set a trap for the Dark Lord. Bastila was with the strike team that tried to capture Revan, as you probably know. She was there at Revan's end. That was nearly a year ago, but things have not improved. Malak has stepped in and assumed the mantle of Dark Lord for himself, though he's far from Revan's equal in strategy or tactics. Still, his fleet continues to grow in both ships and soldiers. If we do not find some way to stop the Sith soon, Malak will overwhelm us with sheer numbers. Revan's tale shows us how even the greatest of Jedi can fall to the dark side. You must always be on guard against the evil that dwells within you. Think hard upon this lesson. May the Force be with you. Your confidence is admirable, but you must guard against pride and arrogance. These lead to the dark side. Initially, the bulk of the Sith force were former Republic soldiers who had served under Revan. With each conquest, thousands more flocked to join the invaders, swelling their numbers. Even many of our own order have betrayed us, lured by Sith promises of riches and power. But what is more disturbing is the size of the Sith fleet itself. Some of the ships in the Sith fleet are those that were under Revan's command during the Mandalorian Wars, but many more are of an alien design we've never seen before. The source of this massive fleet is one of the many things about the Sith we cannot explain. It seems impossible to have created it in such a short time, yet we cannot deny its existence. Revan and Malak were heroes, the great saviors of the Republic. A third of the Republic fleet was under their direct command. And then something happened. All Jedi must know the code. Its tenets are the fundamental teachings of our order. Think and meditate on these truths, apprentice. There is no emotion. There is peace. There is no ignorance. There is knowledge. There is no passion. There is serenity. There is no chaos. There is harmony. There is no death. There is the Force. Knowledge of the code will lead you to the rank of Padawan, and knowledge of the Order and its history will guide you down the path of the light. This facility is a training academy. The archives here are restricted to those who have attained the rank of Master. We must protect overeager Padawans from being exposed to dangerous knowledge. The pursuit of knowledge is a noble goal, but there are some things that require the wisdom of a master to truly understand. If you are seeking information on Revan, Malak, and the Sith, I will gladly recount the recent history of our order to you, as you wish. I will not force you to hear what I have to say, though I think it is unwise to ignore the lessons of the past. Perhaps you can return when you have more time. I bid you welcome once more. I assume you've come so that I might continue my recounting of the recent history of the Jedi Order. It pleases me to see a student who understands the value of history. I shall resume where we last left off. I have already told you of the war against Exar Kun and the damage it wrought upon the Republic and the Jedi Order. Even now, we are still rebuilding from that terrible conflict. When we last spoke, I had just told you of the Mandalorian invasion of 7 years ago. The Republic sent their entire fleet to do battle with this new threat. I was telling you how Revan and Malak returned 3 years ago, at the head of a massive invasion fleet. Greetings, young apprentice. Have you come seeking knowledge of the past? Those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it, or so they say. Greetings, young Padawan. Have you come seeking knowledge of the past? Those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it, or so they say. As chronicler of the Academy here on Dantooine, I find your quest for knowledge admirable, but I do not want to overwhelm you with the long history of the Jedi Order. You should ponder the history of Revan. It contains many lessons you may need if we hope to defeat Malak and the Sith. Revan's tale shows us how even the greatest of Jedi can fall to the dark side. You must always be on guard against the evil that dwells within you. Think hard upon this lesson. May the Force be with you. Your confidence is admirable, but you must guard against pride and arrogance. These lead to the dark side. Padawan, I must speak with you. You are now one of the Jedi, an order with a long and glorious past, a past we should all be aware of. As a chronicler of the Academy here on Dantooine, I feel it is my duty to share the history of our order with the newly initiated. Unfortunately, our recent history is one of tragedy and bloodshed.
Few mention those names around here anymore, but I suppose it is just as dangerous to deny they were ever part of the Order. When I was still on Coruscant, Revan and Malak often came to me for additional training. In particular, Revan's hunger to learn seemed insatiable. I should have recognized this as a warning sign, but I perceived the young Padawan's lust for knowledge as simple exuberance and eagerness. Revan was my most promising pupil, one I felt sure would someday become a champion of the Jedi Order. The Jedi Order moved too slowly for Revan and Malak. We were too cautious in their eyes. They always sought to learn far quicker than their masters felt was prudent. It is one thing to understand a lesson, but to truly comprehend it takes a wisdom that only comes with time. Several years ago, when the Mandalorian threat first arose, Revan and Malak were eager to journey to the Outer Rim to defeat the enemy of the Republic. But the Council felt it best if we moved with care and caution. The true threat, the Council feared, had not yet revealed itself. But Revan would not be dissuaded. Charismatic and powerful, it was inevitable many of the Order would flock to Revan's seemingly noble cause. Malak was the first to join his closest friend. Others soon followed, many of our youngest and brightest, intent on saving the galaxy from the Mandalorian threat. They were foolish to disregard the Council's wishes. I do not know what happened to Revan, Malak, and their followers on the farthest reaches of the Outer Rim, but something corrupted them. Their ideals became twisted, their spirits were tainted, and they fell to the dark side. There is a lesson in this, a lesson you would do well to take to heart. The dark side can corrupt even the most noble of Jedi. I have nothing left to teach you, Padawan, though a Jedi is ever learning. Even the Masters know their training is but in its infancy. Now is the time for you to seek wisdom outside the training chambers. The lessons that yet await you are to be found beyond the walls of this academy. You should speak to the Council, Padawan. Now that the first stage of your training is complete, I am certain they would be eager to have you aid us in our struggle against Darth Malak and the Sith. I have heard there was some sort of large battle to the south of here between two families of settlers. Apparently both the families were completely killed in the fight, along with their respective droids. I find that most suspicious. Were you not in that area recently? Is that so? It is tragic that this had to happen to those families. Their children were in love, I hear. Perhaps it was Mandalorian raiders, or a feud that got out of control. It is tragic, but nothing can be done now that all who were involved are dead. Let this be a lesson against hate and violence. A Jedi must always be wary lest these lead to the dark side. Perhaps. That or a feud that got out of control. It is tragic, but nothing can be done now that all who were involved are dead. Shen Matale and Raheja Sandral have fled their feuding families and asked for sanctuary here in the Enclave. The Council has granted this request. I have heard that it was by your actions that they managed to escape, and I must congratulate you for avoiding a potentially dangerous situation. May the Force be with you in your quest.
I must congratulate you on your actions. You have saved Juhani and brought her back into the Order, and have given us all great hope for your future success. May the Force be with you as you continue your training. I have heard what you have done and how Juhani has been slain. I had hoped that this would not have come to pass. Could you find nothing in Juhani that could be redeemed? I am skeptical of your methods and your intentions, but if nothing could be done, then that is the way of things. Keep in mind the danger of the dark side, lest you fall into its grasp. I am skeptical of your methods and your intentions, but if nothing could be done, then that is the way of things. I see you insist on wandering the halls of our enclave when you should be busy studying your lessons. It appears that soon you will achieve the rank of Padawan. Master Jar is most impressed with your progress, but I cannot help but wonder if you move forward too quickly. You do not know the Jedi Code? Without knowledge of those doctrines, all your training will be for naught. All Jedi must know the Code. Its tenets are the fundamental teachings of our Order. There is no emotion. There is peace. There is no ignorance. There is knowledge. There is no passion. There is serenity. There is no chaos. There is harmony. There is no death. There is the Force. Learn these truths, apprentice, or we shall all regret the decision to accept you into the Order. I suppose such desires are inevitable, though I fear you may seek knowledge for which you are not prepared. Yet I will do my best to guide your quest. Bastila, the young Jedi holds great promise and great danger. She can do much for both the Republic and the Council. Without her skill in battle meditation, the Sith Armada would have conquered the galaxy long ago. But despite her command of the Force, Bastila is still young. She is a Jedi, but she has not attained the rank of Master. The Council would do well to remember this before we lay the fate of the galaxy on her slender shoulders. You would do well to focus more closely on your lessons. The Force is strong with you, but you need training and guidance in the ways of the Jedi, lest you suffer a fate similar to that of Revan. Revan was once a promising Padawan, but ever eager to learn more about the Force. Revan sought knowledge of ancient Sith magics, foolishly ignoring the dangerous lure of the dark side.
The Jedi Revan was a great warrior and an amazing general. Even Mandalore himself could not defeat him.
When the Mandalorian invasion came, Revan seized the opportunity it presented. Many Jedi flocked to the Outer Rim to follow the charismatic young knight, and many fell under the sway of the dark side. I do not believe Revan and Malak were corrupted on the Outer Rim. They had begun their journey down the dark path long before the Mandalorian threat appeared. Here on Dantooine, they discovered a sinister cave, a place where the strength of the dark side overwhelms the light. Perhaps this discovery was what first corrupted them. Or perhaps they sought the cave out because they were already corrupted. Whatever the explanation, the Order was unable to turn them back to the light. Had the Council taken more decisive action in this matter, perhaps Revan and Malak could have been stopped. But in this we failed. If you find me overly critical, perhaps it is because you do not fully understand what is at stake. For 15,000 years, the Republic has brought peace and stability to the galaxy. Now the Republic may be destroyed because we, the Jedi, have failed them. Revan and Malak were paragons of the ideals the Order seeks to uphold. Yet they succumbed to the temptations of the dark side. When Revan fell, Malak took up the mantle of Dark Lord of the Sith. Should Malak be stopped, what is to stop another Jedi from taking his place? This is the burden we Masters must carry. Only through strict training and relentless lessons can we prevent the Dark Master from being reborn. That is why the Order can brook no failure in our apprentices and pupils. That is why I can accept nothing but perfection from you. So you heard about them, did you? They've been harmless up till now. It is tragic that someone had to die before we took action. You have our leave to deal with the murdering Mandalorian raiders, should you encounter them. Now get along, then. Maybe you'll find the time to do something useful. There was a battle near one of the southern estates recently. Many people were killed. Do you know anything about it? Indeed. I cannot prove anything, but I have my suspicions. I will keep my eye on you, Padawan. Shen and Rahasia have been granted asylum here at the Enclave until they can find a way to deal with their families. I hear you had something to do with that. It is the way of the Jedi to provide help to those in need, and you seem to have lived up to this duty. I congratulate you, Padawan. It is well that you are still alive, Padawan, in that you have not yet managed to fail us completely. Why is it that you are now bothering me instead of seeking out the star map? The Sandrals and Matalis have been at odds ever since they came to this planet, and have been making my life difficult the entire time as well. Now Alan Matali accuses Nurik Sandral of stealing his son, Shen. Nurik Sandral's own son, Cassis, has been missing for a while now. We do not know what has happened. Alan is rash enough and stupid enough to start a war over any imagined slight. We would resolve this, but we have too few Jedi to spare. It must be resolved peacefully. Their estates are both located to the south of the Enclave. The Sandral fairly far. It would normally be your duty to assist in such matters, but your primary task takes precedence. If you are stuck on the planet for a while, you may investigate. I would recommend starting at the estate of Alan Matali. Ah, Nemo. He was a brave and honorable man. He had great strength with the Force. I would not have thought that Kathhounds alone would be able to overcome him. Perhaps there was more. But remember your task, Padawan. The Jedi Balaya would seem to have disappeared. She had a lesson scheduled with Master Jar, but did not show up. I have heard someone say that she'd been seen leaving the Enclave, but I do not know where she would have gone. If you meet her, you may want to ask her why she left. We do not force anyone to stay here, so do not think to take that route. Is there anything else, then? I find that disturbing. It is our failings as teachers that enable this to happen. Do not give in to the same dark urges as she did, or you may suffer a similar fate. You have a mission to attend to, Padawan. And as much as I may wish it otherwise, you are our only hope. As you strive to defeat our enemy, you must always guard against the enemy within yourself. The easy lure of the dark side is difficult to resist, and I fear this quest to find this mysterious Star Forge will lead you down an all too familiar path. The Council has placed the fate of the galaxy within your hands. I pray both you and Bastila are able to emerge from this ordeal as servants of the light. May the Force be with you, young Padawan. For good or ill, you are now a true Padawan. The time has come for you and Bastila to investigate the dream you shared. The secrets to stopping Malak may lie hidden within the ancient Dantooine ruins you both saw in your visions.
This is Master Vandor. A number of Jedi Knights have joined our fleet under his command.
And may the Force be with you. If Bastila is using her power to augment the Sith, then Malak's fleet is invincible. Our only hope is to somehow stop Bastila from using her battle meditation.
How can we do that if she's on the space station?
I will send a squadron of Jedi Knights to the Starforge to find Bastila. Their small ships will be able to fly through the Sith blockade and dock on the space station. If they can find Bastila, they may be able to distract her attention from the battle overhead. That should allow you to move your capital ships into position for a final assault on the Starforge itself.
You have defeated Malak, destroyed the Starforge, and broken the spirit of the Sith. For this I am proud to present you each with the Cross of Glory, the highest honor the Republic can bestow.
On behalf of the Jedi Council, defenders of the galaxy, and sworn protectors of the Republic, I, too, would like to honor you for your actions. We Jedi now have another tale to weave into the grand history of our eternal order. The redemption of Revan, the prodigal knight. Wherever you go, you will be recognized as the saviors of the galaxy, the heroes of our age. But you must remain ever vigilant, for one day you may be called upon yet again to defend the glory of the Republic against the tyranny of the dark side. For this is the destiny of the Jedi.